Keyonte George was known as a prolific shooter and scorer in high school, and while he's still a big-time talent in that area, the improvements he's made as a passer and the levels he's reached as a defender has made him a much more well-rounded prospect than anticipated. He's a 6'4" 2 guard putting up a healthy 16-4-4 on the season. He hasn't shot the ball particularly well to this point, but his overall impact and strides he's made have been evident in a way that you're confident in his game going forward. While he can be a lot better here, and I'm sure even he'd agree, he's still shown off that high level upside to score and make shots from multiple spots on the floor. And though he's shooting just about 33% from 3 right now, when you look at his combination of shot prep, organization, footwork, and just overall confidence, it's very much that of someone who's going to be very good from downtown later on in this season and in the NBA. And obviously, when we look back to high school, he shot 41% his senior year at IMG, which gives you even more confidence in that number rising in the next 25 games or whatever they have left. He's been slightly better off the dribble from 3 than he has been off the catch. I think he's got some real movement potential as well that we've seen a glimpse or two of so far. He actually reminds me of Jaden Hardy in a lot of ways because of the footwork and the pickups off the dribble, and also the frequency of the punch drags or dead dribbles that they use. And all of this is suggestive of him being able to reach another level here. And honestly, on this lower sample, like if he had just made 3 more threes, he'd be at 37%. So that's the type of volume that we're working with. Long story short, I'm very confident in him as a shooter.
George almost had it taken away by Smith. Deep 3.
He's also shown some high-level flashes getting downhill to the bucket and using several different counters along the way. He's shooting over 60% from the rim when he's gotten there, though we'll talk a little more about all that in a minute. And though he's been fairly inefficient as a scorer out of the pick and roll, he's displayed some great pace, he set up some screens well, and just has some potential here that I'd be shocked not to see climb down the stretch. So far, he's been more of a work in progress in terms of creating on the perimeter, and though there's reason to have changed expectations in some ways, I love how easily he's played both on and off the ball, and you know he'll heat up to some degree.
George can take it all the way in. Good hop step.
Defense on for Migadaro. And taken away by George off that spin again, and he puts it in.
16-point advantage for Baylor. Here's Keyonte George, drives in.
Keyonte George has Caleb Lohner. Pulls up from 3.
The thing that's really impressed me offensively is his playmaking. In the past, this has been an area you could point to as something he should work on to improve, but that's been far from the case. In fact, he's shown real secondary playmaker running bench units in the NBA type of upside in these 9 games. Again, that pace has really popped in the pick and roll as he's set up screens well. He's allowed things to develop and been pretty aware of his options and reads. I wouldn't say he's a savant or anything in this regard, but his accuracy has been pretty good, and his teammates are actually shooting over 76% on his passes out of the pick and roll as well.
Cross-court pass, LJ Cry.
I've also liked some of the dump offs he's made heading downhill, some of the dimes threading the needle in transition or in the half court, and then also the quick reads have really impressed me as he's made plays where he'll immediately throw a teammate open or into an area before the defense even thinks about that being a possibility. Or you can even look at the little touch passes he's made anticipating the defense committing to him. It all really shows off a growing feel for the game and what I still believe to be some untapped potential here.
Oh, good pass. Nice pass. Pass to George, nearly stolen. Nice pass.
On the breakout, looking for the help. Extra pass to Ojomo.
Has Cryer to the side. Good bounce pass to LJ Cryer.
While he showed flashes in high school, he stood out in a way that I really didn't expect, and both on and off the ball he's made a consistent impact within this trademark Baylor no-middle defense. He's shown he's laterally quick and strong enough to cut off driving lanes and beat players to the spot. When he flips that switch ball pressure wise, it really has impacted a lot of his opponents. And in terms of screen navigation, I think he's done a pretty solid job overall, anticipating that screen, staying attached and getting skinny, all in a way that has far exceeded some of my expectations coming to the college level. And it really shows his commitment to the program and just generally in improving. To me, he's been about as good off the ball or in help situations as he's been in any other aspect of the game so far. His grasp of rotations, help principles as a low man and tagging a roller, as well as playing center field on certain weak side actions and coming up huge, taking charges has been impressive. It's something that takes a lot of guards a while to get down as consistently as he has. And it's not always the obvious stuff, right? If you've been watching the videos, you can probably point out when someone misses a tag or is way too early on some help, but the way he stepped up in spots and just clean contested has been great. They 100% lose on a game winner from Rasir Bolton if he's not there on the help and contorts his body not to foul. This play against Virginia shows a little of what we've been talking about. For copyright reasons, we won't get super detailed, but he's right on time on the roller as they trap Keyonte. Keyonte makes a tough skip, and Keyonte is back to his man, chopping high hands and cuts off multiple drive attempts from Beekman. Just kind of showing off the full package of things. He doesn't have the craziest length or athletic attributes, but when you're comparing him to other past and present scoring guards, he sticks out, and it does a lot for his floor as a player if it holds. Aside from your regular fatigue, ball watching, and lower competition mistakes, it's been hard to find too many real consistent negatives. Now going forward, we alluded to it earlier, but his ability to create big time separation or get the cleanest looks on the perimeter hasn't really been there as consistently as you'd like, and I think that could put a cap on his ceiling offensively to some degree. There's been a lot of tough shots in there and moments where even though he's converted because he's a high level talent, it's tough to really rely on those contested floaters or runners from 7 feet as opposed to getting that clean look at the bucket. I want to see how he's used down the stretch. I think that's going to continue to grow and evolve, but this is something that's caught my eye in looking at him as that potential, second option type of scorer. Another thing he can improve upon is his ball security in traffic and also just some of the turnovers in general. I feel like he can be careless with the ball at times, and there are also instances where he'll try to sell a foul in traffic, end up flailing, and the next thing you know, the other team is going NBA Street game breaker on the rim in transition. So some of those decisions can definitely be patched up. And then just generally, the main thing I'm curious about is just what level he reaches and shows us as a scorer. There's something to be said about him maybe being misused, but at the same time, I think he's getting ample opportunities and a long enough leash to shine within this offense. You really just want to see him be more efficient and consistent, especially from 3, and really give us a game or two that fully shows the top 10 scoring upside against a worthy Big 12 opponent. The biggest matchup yet to come is against Arkansas. Going up against Anthony Black, Nick Smith, Ricky Council, Jordan Walsh should be one of the best scouting looks of the year and a good test for Keyonte on both ends of the floor. And then you've got Texas, Kansas, TCU, and other Big 12 teams that have some high-level guard talent as well. Right now, I think Keyonte is pretty safely a lottery talent projecting out to the end of the year, and I'd have him top 10 at the time that I'm making this. The main reason I think he would or could fall some is because of what some other players show or do, and not necessarily a big indictment on him. But some of that perimeter separation and also the lack of a real in-between game so far as a guy who's not a super strength-based creator will at least be on my mind. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and comment down below some of your thoughts on Keyonte George's game. As always, I'm Keandre, this is Hoop Intellect. Until next time, I'm out.
I mean, it felt great to see the ball finally go through the hoop. I've been shooting. I ain't shooting as well as I wanted. And, my teammates, they continue, to keep finding me, telling me to keep shooting. And, they started to fall, and, we was up. We was all having fun. So, I always try to have a smile on my face. We got an opportunity, to play the game that we love. So just always thankful for that.